Hello everyone, my name is Forset Rising, otherwise known as Icarus/Chance, and today I am joined by Dr. Calculus, Tub, and Thin Uncle Phil from Slated Six. Tell me, how you guys doing today?
Hello,
I'm
hello.
good.
Good?
I'm pretty good.
I'm doing good.
Awesome, awesome. Now, before we start this interview proper, I do want to ask something that I've been seeing around on X quite a bit. Are you all aboard hashtag in hunger? And have you invested in Cyborg coin yet?
But the hashtag end hunger is my favorite thing on Twitter, I will not lie. I love Zamuda, bro. The guy's the goat.
Dude, I've been seeing it all over. Shochi's on my timeline now, doing hashtag in hunger. It's cooked, man. Um. All right. Jokes aside, though, let's start off simple and just jump straight into the day one of matches. You all went 4-1. In a bit of a closer fashion than a lot of people thought. Despite that, you did advance forward. How are you guys feeling after those matches? We'll start with Calc and then go to Tub and Phil.
Feels pretty good. I know there's like a new team and we've been scrimming a lot, so uh I didn't really know how everyone would perform like on game day, so feels really good that we were able to win.
Heck yeah. Tub.
Yeah, I also felt the same way. So like when we started out, like I think like our team like we didn't really have like a strong foundation. I guess I think everyone was like a good player, but like individually we were good players, but as a team we really lacked like we didn't really know each other. I guess, and like we have a lot to thank for like that then Uncle Phil for that because like he made like a team culture and like I think that I'm closer to everyone as a friend and like I just trust my teammates and like during those 4 games or 5 games, I felt really good because like we were all performing. Like I genuinely thought that we were gonna win it all. Like we were all playing so well.
Fair enough. And Phil, how did you feel after those matches?
I mean, I was really happy. I never, it's kind of like one of those things where like it doesn't really matter how the game is going, you just know the boys are not gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, yeah, like for example, the game that we lost, I just ran it in draft, and like sure they didn't play the greatest, but like draft was mega hard to play. And then like the closer games, like we're saying the game was close, but realistically we were six grubs, a dragon soul, and 11k gold up. Like sure, yeah, it got to elder, but like I was pretty happy with the games. Like the boys performed. We just like as Calc said, first game days. So when you don't know how your teammates are gonna perform, like there is certain things that can like get out of hand where like you don't know, because like this is the same thing we experienced with Lauder like last year,
Yep.
where it's one thing in scrims, but when you get to officials, you need to like readapt what you're learning in scrims. So for example, the scrim set that we've had with Slated Six after the officials has looked very differently than the scrim sets before, because now everyone has kind of like a set expectation of everyone else, and now it's a bit different. People know what to expect from their teammates.
Fair enough. Were you surprised that you did drop that match, or did you just chalk it up to draft diff and go next?
I mean, like 6 minutes in, I was aware this game is gone.
Okay, so what we're saying is we're blaming you, Phil, not the players.
We never blame my players. Like that's gonna be a problem. Like we don't talk about my players. It's my fault if we lose. It's their thing if they win. If my fault if we lose. That's how it works.
Like a good coach. Um, some of the people have been criticizing, including myself, your lack of closing out games. We mentioned even though you were up ahead so much, it did go to that elder fight. Do you think this is a team issue, or do you think it's more of a just something that you just need to work on?
Do I need to answer again? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay,
Anyone
okay.
can answer.
Uh, I think, I think closing the game. I mean, okay, so closing the game, I think as a philosophy that like we've set up at least is you have to do something. Let's say to close the game, right? So, let's say you want to do Baron to close the game, and then if you mess up that play, like there's nothing you can do. Like you need to wait for 5 minutes for the
Mm-hmm.
thing to spawn again, and that's it. Like there isn't really a way to fix it. So that's like what I think about that specific game. Like I don't think closing essentially was too big of an issue. It's just like it looked disgusting because we took Baron, inted one time, and then that's it. You just have to wait for another like 6 minutes, and then you get the next Baron, and then If you don't end, well, guess what? You wait for another 6. So it's kind of like, yeah, you mess up one plate, looks disgusting. But we have been working on closing. We are a team that's like naturally gonna play a lot slower than other teams, I think, which is something I'm like really happy about. So I don't really like complain about us being slow. It's just needs to be cleaner on the closing. No ints like that, because we should be aware that it is a 6-minute delay every time you mess up.
Right. Fair enough. Looking forward to your next matches. You face Ducky Getters and the winner of YBN1 and Friendly Fellas. How are you guys feeling going into that match, and do you think you're favorites to win both of these matches? Starting with Tub.
So I actually like I think people think that we're probably gonna lose, but I actually think that like we're actually gonna win. Like I'm very confident that we're gonna win. Like I think most of our competition is only gonna be like in the final rounds actually, like versus like Respawn, Citadel, maybe like near airport. But like Citadel is like in the losers bracket, and like if we do fall, then we'll face them. You know.
Right. No faith in the upset. Flippers losing to Flippers beating Citadel.
It's definitely a possibility, but if we were gonna like try to be like super honest, then Citadel should win.
Right. Cal, how are you feeling going to these matches?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to play. I think the top matchups will be really interesting. There's like Draco, and then if we win, there's potentially Moose Hater. These are like ex NACL players, so I'm really excited to play versus them.
And Phil, do you have faith in your team to get the dub?
I mean, yeah, I would be very surprised if we lose, but I need Calc to spill some tea, bro. We're playing against Ducky Getters. Like, we can't be this calm, bro. You need to say something. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like, against your old team, bro, he's gonna say, like, I think maybe we're, like, bro, what? Tell them something, bro. Speak.
I mean,
You are
I
facing your old team and teammates. You
well,
and
it's only
Bio.
like Enthralled on that team, so
Hiccup is
I
also on
can't
the
say
team, bro.
it.
Why are you being mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Hiccup's playing, so
Ah.
doesn't really count. It's just Enthralled versus me and Bio, I guess.
So we are actually the Ducky Getters.
Yeah,
Ducky
we're
Getters
mainly the
2.0.
Ducky Getters.
At heart,
At heart.
we are the Ducky Getters.
All right, moving
Chill.
on to some more specific questions. Tub, you've personally, for me, been a really hard man to track down online. I did realize about an hour into searching you out because I thought you were a rookie, and then I'm like, no. Instead, this is someone else called, what was it,
Baruto.
Brarudo, yeah. Sorry. And so, what made you want to change your name for this tournament? And has playing for 3 years made you feel, better and more confident going into some of these matches?
Yeah, so actually like I was very like on and off with League. So yeah, and I'll always like change my name a lot as well. So like my tag is obviously 2005, which is when I was born. So right now I'm 19 years old. And then Tub is just short for Tubby because that's what people like to call me sometimes. So yeah. And like I didn't have any other name to think of, so that's just what I put.
I
Yeah.
see. Um,
Hubby Tubby bot lane.
Hubby
It
Tubby.
worked out all well.
Yeah, no, it worked out really well. For you specifically, though, is there anything that sets this roster apart from other previous rosters you've played with, Tub?
Yeah, I think the most important one is definitely like the entire like team aspect of it. Like a lot of the times like we were always good individually. We know that like a lot of people I think in tier 3 are like really good individually, but they don't have like someone who can guide them to like take it to the next level as a team. And like I think Uncle Phil is like the perfect coach for that. And like I think he taught us really well, and I want to like showcase that what we learned can actually be taken.
Awesome. Your bot lane play throughout this tournament has been very, very good. How has it felt playing with this Hubby Tubby bot lane?
Well, I always thought that if there was ever a mistake, it would only be my fault. So I always have to like bring it to the next level. Like I have to like as a support, you have to be creative so that you could look for angles. Sometimes you don't have to, but you always have to think about like ways to like protect your team or ways that you can engage. And like most of the time, when you're playing bot lane in those 2v2 scenarios, especially with lane swap being removed, I think is really important for like me to step it up so that Hub can actually like just carry every game.
And he has been able to carry a lot of these games. His scoreline is absolutely insane right now. Um, moving on to Calc, how does it really feel to play against the old org? Obviously, you said there's only one player returning, but do you feel a little bit more pressure to perform playing against them and wanting to show that you and Bio were the carries after all?
Uh, a little bit, yeah. Definitely want to win versus them more, I guess.
Awesome, awesome. Specifically you throughout this tournament, it's been a little more on the rough side. You have solo died a couple times now. Um, how have you felt dealing with this, and how's the rebounds gone?
I think I've had to readjust my playstyle a little bit because, like, I'd say last OQ, me and Bio were just running around the map, getting kills everywhere. So I definitely had to relearn the game and like play properly as a team. So I'd say I'm still adjusting, but I'll only get better.
Fair enough. I mean, you did have, despite getting solo killed, a really, really good silent game. You just felt unkillable in that match. Um, on to Phil. Phil. Working for Blue Otters, I'm the new event manager for Blue Otter. How how does it feel to be a dirty cheater?
Whatever do you mean?
Working for two other teams, you know?
What do you mean? It's like, bro, listen, we're not saying this. No. I have specifically said it's just an OQ run. And although I love the voice and everything, of course, like we're gonna be committing to Blue Otter in about 2 weeks, and then that's it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, right?
Of course, yeah.
Obviously mean.
I mean, I'm pretty happy, like just getting the extra experience. Like to me, there is nothing wrong. Like I think as a coach, literally, like I think this is like actually a thing people kind of misunderstand. Is like every time you do an individual coaching session, let alone a team session, I think the coach learns at least as much as the person he's teaching. Hopefully, because if you're not, then like the whole concept of being an experienced coach is useless. Like if you aren't actually gaining anything. So for me, especially starting off with a new team and like having to maybe do some things that I did worse at Blue Otter or at any previous team, make them just do them better right now, which is something that's kind of evident. Like I think Slated Six has improved dramatically faster than Blue Water last split. And that's kind of a lot. I mean, obviously, everyone is gonna like find it in themselves as to why it happened. But as far as I'm concerned, I know I did some things differently. I'm very like aware of the things I did differently, and obviously, this is like a little bit result based. But to me, it seems like a lot of those things specifically worked, right? So I do think that like it's really good, and I'm always gonna take any opportunity I can to do coaching. Like for example, the ACL run with Pulse was really sad because we didn't scrim for like 50 days. So that part is sad because like I don't learn anything if I just watch my teams play officials once per like 10 days and that's it, you know. So having Slated Six scream, also just mad props to the boys, by the way. These kids are screaming every day for the past like I don't know 30 or some shit. Like it's insane.
Right.
So I mean absolute props to them, and yeah, I'm learning a lot because I get to scrim with them every day, and like there is so many things that you're free to do when you have a lot of scrims. Like there is no such thing as a wasted scrim set if you know how to actually do scrims. So
Exciting
for
scrim
me, it's
tonight,
like,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. It's what was it? Tempest, right? Tonight?
Tempest today, yeah,
How you feeling going into that?
great. Like at this point, I'm just feeling great going into any scrim because the boys are insane. Like
Right.
they just perform every time, so it's time to have fun in scrims now. It's different.
For sure, for sure. How has it been working for both teams at the same time?
Perfect.
Has it been
They're
harder? Do you think?
I mean, previously I've always coached an EU team and an NA team,
Right.
which is like around 10 plus hours per day. So this guy scrim less. So this guy scrim 3 hours, which is like one best of three, and they just they just like adapt to my schedule. So like if we scrim 3 EST with Blue Water, they'll just book the scrim at 8 EST. So it's like I can just chain both, and to me there is no problem. Like I can scrim for like 16 a day. For me, it's like absolutely not an issue. So it hasn't been particularly exhausting, and it helps a lot because I get to like have 10 perspectives on draft, 10 perspective on certain macro rotations and stuff. And even though I would say Blue Otter is like probably a lot more experienced when you look at the roster, there is a lot that it helps getting a pure fresh perspective because like otherwise like I'm kind of used to what the Blue Otters kids are gonna say, you know, like I'm very
Right.
sure about what they're gonna say 80% of the time. I can predict that, so there isn't really that much surprises. But I guess with these guys when I talk, like some people say things that I don't expect, and that might help. So
Anyone that seem a little bit more unhinged than the others?
probably me.
Well, you
But,
aside, right? You got that European in
uh,
you, you know. So
wow. Okay. I think the most here. I mean, I don't know. For me, the most surprising one was Hub, probably.
Hub, okay.
I mean, Hub's growth as a person, as in like when we started, and now when he got comfortable, the things he's been saying, sometimes I really did not expect him to drop. At the beginning, bro was like barely saying anything, and it was like fine. But now he just says things. I mean, it makes me happy. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the most
Um,
random comments have dropped from him.
you've been around coaching for about 5 years now. Almost every team that you've been on has improved, like you've been talking about, and they have gotten visibly better. You even won the Sigma Cup last year, right? And so just working for so long at such a high level, put expectations on yourself to want to make sure that Slated, promotes to keep that streak going.
I think, I mean, for sure it helps. Of course, that's why I said like the experience thing matters quite a lot. But I also think coaches need to use alternate sources. Like, I don't think like if you don't establish a this is like something that I think a lot of coaches right now struggle at the top OQ/NACL level, where like I think if you are not able to establish a philosophy and if you're not able to establish a system of like what you believe in your team, you are just like wasting your time. Because like if you're reviewing every game that you review from the lenses of your own players, which is like it's just useless because like you are not doing anything. Like if your players do whatever they feel like doing at every point of time and you review it like, oh, you should have hit that hook there, that's not very useful. Like that doesn't really do anything. So for me it's always been about like learning other things, like learning how to get like from team psychology aspect, like how to get people to talk to each
Right.
other, how to get people to be honest with each other, how to get people to improve between each other when you are not there, how to be useful in scrims. There's like so many spheres where a coach can be good, and I don't remember who it was. It was a quote from like either an NBA coach or maybe like it was either from like an NBA coach, maybe some CS coach. I don't really remember. But it was a quote where like players get to be good at a thing. Like for example, Calc can be like really good at split pushing, right?
Right.
Like really good at split pushing, and that's his pool. And you can kind of just take that. Like you don't really complain a lot of the time. Like there is literal pros that are capable of playing few things. Like Zeka won worlds on 3 champs. Like that's the thing. But when you're a coach, you don't get that. Like when you're a coach, you have to be good at everything. You can't be a good coach and say, okay, I'm good at game knowledge, but I'm bad at communication. You're
Got
just
it.
a bad coach. And the same goes for like if you're good at communication but bad at the game. Like you're always a bad coach unless you're literally good at everything. So you have to think about that in advance and actually focus on everything. You can't be okay with like, yeah, I'm like pretty shit at like communication, but like it's fine. Like no, it's not. Like you have to work on it. So
Got
that's
it.
kind of I think the hardest thing as a coach.
Fair enough. Opening up to everyone, um, what are your thoughts going into the tournament itself, and what do you think of like the bracket? We'll go with Calc.
Uh, I think we have a pretty good bracket. I can definitely see us promoting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Would you
Yeah, don't be
think?
too enthusiastic, Calc.
What'd you think of the 64 teams, Calc? Do you think it was maybe harder or more difficult, maybe more top heavy compared to other OQs you've been in?
I think this is definitely the most competitive OQ I've seen. I kind of like the 64 team format. It's been a lot of fun.
You are you excited to play any of the players that are in these top teams?
Well, yeah, I think playing against Double Lift's team would be really cool, especially if we win.
Fair enough. And you, Tub, what do you think about the bracket?
I actually like the brackets. Yeah, I actually like it a lot. But I do think Tempest should just get to promote for free. I'm not gonna lie, like they should be able to promote for free. But there's always possibilities. But like I do like my bracket because like I don't just want to win for free. I want to win because I want to prove that I'm just better than everyone else. And I do think our team has that capability. Like I'm confident in all my teammates, every single one of them. Like sometimes they even surprise me. Like they surprise me a lot actually. Like there's always something to learn and improve on. And like it's just so interesting to see. And like I'm very excited to play against Respawn if they do beat near airport because Respawn's bot lane is actually like really good friend of mine, Sushi and Mixture.
Yep.
They're really good friends of mine, so shout out to them. Yeah, I just want to play against them.
Fair enough. A couple of other teams mentioned that they play other games together to A, build chemistry, and B, just try and wind down. Do you guys do anything outside of League together?
We just talk a lot. Like we are sitting in that Discord call a lot. So it's not. I don't think we. I mean, we have played CS. We did play CS a bit, but overall, I think it's just like yeah, we just spend a lot of time in calls. Like a lot of like sometimes they play solo queue. We just like sometimes we talk about something completely else. But we haven't really got to play other games particularly much. But yeah, I mean, team building is definitely important. Whatever does help the team, to each their own, you know. But for us, like at least conversing a lot and just yeah, everything like it doesn't have to be in-game topics. Could be RL, whatever. It's been pretty useful, yeah. I think it's pretty good.
Awesome. Is there anything you guys want to say to the fans of Slated Six?
As fans, we only have haters so far that I've noticed.
I don't know.
But it's fine.
Sharpie seems really enthusiastic about you.
Yeah, Sharpie is great. Sharpie is also the owner, so like
Yeah,
I
right.
hope you, I essentially hope you would be pretty enthusiastic.
All right,
But
the
yeah,
theoretical, fans of your
the
team.
I mean, there's definitely some people that support us, so shout out to those guys.
shout out to those guys indeed. Yeah, we're gonna do all we
Oh,
can
great
for
shout out.
sure.
Awesome. And I guess to the haters, what do you have to say to them?
Just watch the games.
Just watch the games. All right. Well, thank you all for the interview. Is there anything you want to shout out before we go?
Shout out to everyone that's been connected to this project somehow. And for me personally, shout out to Blue Water for being patient and letting me run two teams, even though it has hindered maybe our progress a little bit with that team. So massive shout out to the boys, and of course shout out to my teammates at Slated Six that have performed like ridiculously well and have put in a genuinely insane amount of work. So yeah, and shout out Limo. Limo said if we win, he's gonna shave his head. So guys,
Woo!
I'm just saying.
Okay, putting it out there. Tub, anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I just want to shout out my team and my teammates. Like I want to shout out like everyone who's like connected to Slated Six. Like I was watching like the stream over, and we definitely do have supporters. Like there's people in chat typing. Like it's really cool to see that like people genuinely like they don't know you, but they want to get to know you off of your gameplay, and that's just a really cool thing to see that everyone's just connected in some sort of way, you know.
For
So I
sure.
just want to give a big shout out to them. Like big shout out to Then Uncle Phil for just teaching us a lot of things. I felt like as a team, like the culture and everything in our team has grew a lot. Like when we first started, I couldn't envision myself really being friends with everyone, but like a lot of the days, like Then Uncle Phil said, we just hang around and call. Like we're just streaming solo queue. Like we're just doing things as a team. Like we're just like talking about anything. It's just a good time.
Heck yeah. And for you, Calc, anything?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates. I really appreciate how much effort everyone puts in. And definitely shout out to Phil. He's been like way more than just a coach.
Whole lot of love for Thin Uncle Phil here.
I will say one more shout out to you and shout out for the salty run back for bringing some content into the scene. So thank you guys. I know it obviously doesn't pay right now, but I hope you guys still keep doing it because it's genuinely fun to see something and stir up some drama. And to the people doing the interviews and stuff, come on, spice it up, guys. Stop saying things like, yeah, like everyone is good. Like shut up. No, some of you suck. Like be real.
Anyone
Like I know what you
want
guys
to
say
call out for
behind the
that?
scenes, man. Huh?
Any
I
names?
mean, I'm pretty vocal on Twitter. I think
You,
I've
you are.
called,
You are.
I've told certain people what I think. There's nothing wrong with that. So
Alrighty. Well,
yeah,
well, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to sub down below, catch all the other videos, and bye bye.